Here is the exposure triangle in 30 seconds. If you don't get it, just watch the video again. There are three different variables that compose the exposure triangle: aperture, shutter speed, ISO. All very important. The aperture, or the f-stop, controls how much light enters through the lens, like your eyes. A lower f number, like f1.8, will allow more light into the lens and give you that blurry background, also known as bokeh. This is great for really close-up shots, whether it be for an item or an actual person. If you want that blurry background and that separation, a lower f number is where to go. In contrast, a higher f number, like f16, let's say, will make everything sharp, but it'll let less light into the lens. So you will have to compensate using the other variables of the exposure triangle. So this is great for landscapes, cityscapes, or any situation where you really need to see everything in the frame. Next, shutter speed. This controls how long your camera shutter stays open. So a faster shutter speed, like 1/1000th of a second, will freeze any motion that's moving in front of the camera, allowing everything to be sharp. This is good for any action shots or like sports or anything where like a lot of subjects are moving and you want to capture everything still. The opposite end, a slower shutter speed, captures the actual motion of the object. So you will see it dragging through the frame. This is also good for waterfalls or light trails. If you've seen those cityscapes where there are lights in the streets, those are cars driving by, and the slow shutter speed allows for that camera to capture the light trail while the car is moving. Now, ISO. ISO controls how sensitive your camera is to light. If you want a cleaner image with minimal noise or grain, as we like to call it, then you will want to use a lower ISO, something like 100 or ISO 200. Higher ISO, which helps sometimes in darker scenarios, like ISO 1600, will brighten up the image, but at the same time, it'll start introducing noise or grain. So that's when you'll start seeing these little pixelated dots all over your photos. Bringing up the ISO in darker environments helps you compensate for lack of light in an environment. So you'll catch some photographers in poorly lit areas like concert venues or bars, etc. Similar situations where there's minimal light, they'll push up that ISO in order to compensate for the lack of light. I know that was fast, but if you didn't understand, just watch it over again. I promise you, it'll stick.